Hey, hello, everybody, and welcome to AI Biz Hour with Andy and John. And today is a very, very special show. Today is our 100th episode with AI Biz Hour with Andy and John. And it's exciting because, Andy and I, we're just facilitators. The real heroes of the show are all the guests that show up and that speak and that share what they're doing with AI. And that's why people keep on showing up again and again and again. And I've sent the co-host request to Andy, and I pressed the wrong button, but I think that you can still, there we go. Uh, all righty, excellent. So it's good to see everybody here. And let's see what we are. There we go. This X is just the funniest thing sometimes. Right when you think you really got it down, it decides to have some fun with you, and that's just how it goes. Let's see if we can. Well, I'm going to try something else. And here we go. There we go. That should work. Excellent. Perfect. So today's show is sponsored by Virtual Synergy Inc. What if you could free up hours in your day without sacrificing productivity? Successful entrepreneurs know the secret. They delegate. If you're looking for an employee to handle your administration, there's no better employee than a virtual assistant from Virtual Synergy Inc. Virtual Synergy Inc. connects you with skilled human virtual assistants who handle your admin work, emails, and scheduling so you can focus on what truly matters, growing your business. No hiring stress, no overhead, just expert support on demand. Stop managing tasks, start leading your business. Andy, how are you doing today? All righty then.
Jump back down and jump back up there.
Nothing like Murphy's Law, right?
100%.
It's the fun never ends on X. It's always something here that we've got to deal with. Let's see. I really here now this should work. If yeah, if I prove you as speaker, it then you can't co-host. So do you want to drop back down?
Can you hear me now, John?
Yes, can we can. I
Okay,
apologize.
so no, it's not you. I just want to let you know it's Spaces. Right now, I couldn't connect the live stream. There is no live stream on X because X has a 500 server error, which means their gateway to the Spaces live stream is down. You can't live stream right now. Spaces is jacked. And so it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the platform that we're working on. It just happens. So I tried on my computer a couple times, 3 or 4 times. Finally, I turned you on my phone, and there I am. I'm able to speak. So I'm still live streaming on YouTube. Where am I? Live stream YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitch. So I will be copying and pasting that into the purple pill here eventually. But Hey, it wouldn't be the 100th show if it wasn't some funny thing going on anyway. And thanks again to our sponsor who actually created a X post and promoted our space and congratulated us. So that is super awesome. Not just a passive sponsor in the background, but actually somebody who listens, watches, and cares and is reaching out. So if you're looking for a virtual assistant, you need some extra help, please join our sponsor, Virtual Synergy. Anyway, yeah, let's get to it. We got the show going, and we're started a couple minutes late, but hey, here we are, episode 100. Absolutely freaking amazing.
Well, I like to think that the energy about this show is what actually has been affecting X today. The excitement is palpable. There are planets moving in the cosmos. Something's happening this weekend that hasn't happened in more than 500 years with the planets aligning. And so it all converges at the tip of the spear, which today, at this time, at this moment, at this place, is on X, and it's AI Biz Hour with Andy and John. That's where everything is focusing right here, right now, which is exciting. And because you know what, Andy, it's not you and I that make this show interesting and entertaining. The heroes are everybody who's here, everybody in the audience, everybody who contributes regularly, who speaks, and even those. There's so many people here that I see again and again every day that are just listeners, and I mean, Juan Carlos is a hero amongst heroes. He's here, and I think that he might be at. I think there's something going on in his life. He can talk about it if he wishes. Jason created our Discord space, which there's a couple people have said finally an organized Discord server. I mean, people have been raging about it because it's done really really well because he's sharp as a tack. Dan, who's here on a regular basis, is great to see. And Mano Kana is here again, who's wonderful and shows up all the time. Anna is here. Tim been contributing like a madman, which is amazing. Nicholas, who asked to get into the Discord server. I'd like to hear from him because he said it wasn't him, but somebody else stated it was really really great. And Nathan it's good to see you. Of course, Kevin, who is the founder of the Startup Circle, and without him, one day I forgot to add one of these shows into the Startup Circle, and the viewership was down tremendously. It is hugely effective to be part of the Startup Circle. Hugely effective. Timo, of course, who's in Finland, where everybody's 6'5" or something. I think it's the tallest group of people in the world. Very, very funny man. Has crazy Finnish jokes and really knows what he's doing. Sannon, who is stellar. And this weekend, him and Zoo are having an amazing space that you must attend. I posted it on my account. It's for hanging out with Sannon on this space and him talking about what he's done in his lifetime has really opened my eyes about so many things. So whatever level you're on, I cannot um I cannot say enough about how important it is. If you're involved in business or you're at any level, I really think you all should attend Zoo and Sannon's space this weekend because it's going to be gems, huge gems. And the Yapper is here, always with a lot of energy and great follow through. And we have Andrea and many more people. Andy, it's a packed show, and I
Yes. Go-
I've created the biz AI Biz Hour family kind of thing. And so I bookmark everybody who comes by on a regular basis, contributes, or is just here. And I would like to do some major shout outs today during our show if you think that's appropriate.
Well, you know what? It's our show. It's appropriate if we say so. So that's it. First of all, I'm gracious for everyone. I did want to give everyone just one little quick backstory of how we started this whole thing. Um, I started using AI about a year ago, February last year, and I tried to use it to read uh, contracts. I typically work as a management consultant and project manager and organizational consultant. And I wanted to read contracts. And so I just created a chat GPT to read a contract from my knowledge, the stuff that I actually do. And it turned into really cool. And I thought, hey, I haven't heard anybody talk. I've heard them talk about, you know, how to do marketing material or how to, why the context window is this or which model to use. And I thought, nobody's talking about how we can use this to make money or to do business or to help business people solve their problems. But I don't know enough to help. So I thought, well, the best way to do this is to start a space and just say, we're going to talk about AI in business. And then I would ask people, how are you using it? How did you use it? And then after a couple of weeks, John's like, hey, I want to do an AI space too, but I don't want to, overlap your time. And I said, oh, no. Let's do it together. It'd be a whole lot better. And now here we are, 100 episodes in. We did the season one, 30 episodes. And then today is the 70th episode of season two. And from now on, we're just going to put a number, right? Next week will be number 101, number 102, number one. And we'll just keep track. It's a lot easier to keep track of that way than all this other stuff. But really, it was because and this is a pro tip for everybody. If you don't know something and you don't know enough people who know about the stuff that you're trying to figure out, start a space every day and say, I want to do this one thing. Come show me, come help me, come teach me. And that is literally how this whole entire thing started. And, John is just got, post chops like you can't believe. And the amazing, startup circle and all the support we've received there. So if you haven't joined the startup circle, you've got to join the startup circle. You get notified every single time anybody posts a space inside the startup circle where they tag that as part of the thing. Um, I became a moderator in the startup circle. Kevin started the whole thing with Marianne, and now Kevin and Timo and Justin and I kind of are the I don't know, first set of moderators. And then there's a bunch of other people, Netta and some other fantastic folks that are also moderators too. And we've had so many guests on the show and so many amazing things. I from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank you. And I'm just going to gush over all of these amazing people. I see Jessica joined. 11 Labs is so cool. And it's just so fantastic. So if you want to, John, I'm going to jump ahead of you on the agenda here, but if you want to say something about the show, if you want to say what you learned or how you benefited or what your favorite moment was, or when did Andy say that totally stupid thing that made you laugh? Hey, please grab the mic, come on up, tell us your story, tell us how this is impacting you and helping you because it's all here for you. It's about, well, it's for us. It's about us and for us so that we can learn about what's happening, learn how people are using it, and then just, take all of those skills, apply them to our own unique situations, and then come back and share with everybody. So, John, back to you.
Absolutely, Andy. And yeah, I was always kind of a lone wolf, and when you said, "Hey, let's do this together," I was kind of shocked. I was like, "Oh, well, this is new. Something new's happening." And I really, really appreciate it. I must say though, when it comes to hosting, I do have an unfair advantage because I was informed in another life I was an MC for a whole solar system. So, you know, that there's
Oh,
that.
shit. Whole solar, what do you mean by solar? Like,
Well, it was another.
I all the way to the, I could turn on, like, from one to the
That was my nickname is Uranus. Or it was my stage name. But yeah, it was for a whole thing. It was a different kind of galaxy where everybody was kind of conscious. There was a unified form of consciousness. So the whales would talk to the people, and the birds and the trees would talk to the your dog, and it was just another experience. But I'm glad that I'm here. I do miss it sometimes. I think we all kind of want to go home sometimes, but.
do news today? Because there have been some really kind of interesting things. Or are we just going to jump right to the hands? I see Tim had put his hand up. Anna's come up and grabbed it. I think we should get other people on the mic too. But what?
I think I would love to hear the stories of the people that are here because I have heard people outside of the space say that they, one little nugget from someone here and another nugget from someone here because I can't absorb everything. I don't really know, but I know a lot of people have gotten a lot out from various people who've talked. So I would love to hear that. So I see people here that know us. Yeah, if there's no hands, we're just going to start calling on people. How's that?
Well, yeah, exactly. And if not, then I'm going to just start telling the worst possible jokes ever until somebody saves me and saves the rest of the audience from the barely. Okay, thank you, Tim. All right. See, I can bully people if they get picking up the mic.
Right? Is the power of delegation. John, Andy, you two are a class act. What you're doing for the community is just so important. And I love the levity. I love the way that you work together and just bringing in quality people to the space and to the panel. And congratulations on your 100th episode. And also, your sponsors, right? You're to be able to get a sponsor, and I think it's a testimony to your hard work and commitment.
Tim, I'm going to be a little brutal
Yeah.
today. You got to get on
Uh-huh.
point. So what did you happen here when you heard somebody? Did you go, "Oh wow, that's really cool"? Because I know that must have happened at least once or twice.
Uh, the One of the highlight episodes was when you interviewed Jessica, actually, from 11 Labs. And I learned more about the cutting edge of AI in terms of voice, and obviously had a great conversation with Jessica, and it was I think it was great in terms of the questions and the back and forth, and it was very informative because at the end of the day, anyone that claims to be an AI expert on all areas of AI that's just simply not true. AI is advancing so quickly across so many domains. I mean, if as Martin Andreessen says, if software is eating the world, well, AI is like integrated, increasingly integrated, part and parcel with software. So, if software has is eating the world, and it is eating, and will continue to as we continue to digitize our business and our personal lives. Um,
There might be some rugging going on. Can anybody here? Can we get thumbs up or thumbs down? Tim, I think you need to.
John, I can still hear him. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I can't hear Tim, so I'll be quiet.
Okay, well,
Okay.
Tim's good.
I'll land my plane. I'll land my plane. Just give me 10 seconds. Don't rug pull me yet. Nida, nice to see you. All the best in your job. Congratulations on your new job. I wish you all the best. And with that, I'll land my plane.
Thanks, Tim. Appreciate that. Appreciate you coming on, grabbing the mic, saying hi. That's fantastic. So we'll go back to John now and see. You can hear me now, John, right?
Yes, I can. And I just want
Okay.
to say the episode with Jessica, Umesh was the co-host then, and Umesh was so on point. He was totally prepared with all of his questions. He was super excited about getting to talk to Jessica directly because he had used 11 Labs so much, and he was a little starstruck to tell you the truth. Currently, he's out on something that's important for him, and he'll be back in a bit, and that's why I haven't seen him around a bit. But I've been in a little touch with him. But yeah, that episode was stellar, and I just felt very humbled by Umesh's many skills as well as great skills as an interviewer. It was great.
Yeah, you know, just to let everybody know, I'm trying to add speakers, but even well, now I'm not even a co-host. So maybe you can try to send me the co-host invite again,
Can,
and then we can
can,
get some more speakers on so I can help you out.
can you drop down, Andy, and then I'll then don't send a request, and then I'll get you on. It should work now. Um,
Yeah, I'll give it a shot.
all
I'll
right,
leave.
perfect. And while Andy's doing that, Jason or Anna, is there something you would like to say? And the main point, I think, because everybody here has got something from someone who's, um, and if I really just really want to celebrate everybody who's been showing up and sharing, and so Anna, have you had any moments where you got some clarity through someone's sharing about what they're doing with AI?
Oh, always, John. And I love this show and I love all of the shows that we do here. All of these sessions that we do with everybody. You're always learning something new. I mean, Tim is fab. So anybody that's talking about founding and financing, I love listening to you. And obviously, this room is great for AI, and all of us are building with AI, and that's only just going to be strengthened by all of us listening to each other. So I just want to say thank you. It's amazing that you're doing this. I know how hard it is to get up every single day and do this. I mean, everybody's got, a lot of things on their mind and a lot of things to do. So thank you very much, John and Andy.
Thank you. And Andy was up here, and there we go. I think this is really X is that there's a bit of I think a semi-solar eclipse happening on Sunday. Something's getting out of hand. I see Jason and Endless have their hands up, and Andy's the co-host. Perfect, super excitement. Andy, do you want to lead us? Yeah, yep, you sound perfect.
Sorry, here's like I said, X the platforms have next.
I wasn't looking. I just had my hand up.
Okay, go ahead, Audrey. You're on mic first, so you're next. Hi, welcome
Thanks,
to the
Andy.
100th
Thanks,
episode.
John. Thank you. I'm so excited for you guys. I haven't been able to tune in as I wanted to all the time, but I try to come in at least once or twice a week if I could. It's almost like, you know, kids are coming home from school and it's like that time of the day. But I will say, like, the times that I've been able to interact with you all, you've been very helpful and very just open to share just about all of your knowledge, which is amazing. And I don't think I've ever reciprocated. So I just want to thank you for that and, just for your value that you always bring to these shows. And whenever I do tune in, I know there's a couple of other people down below that always have so much good, just goodness. Sannon, and I know there's so many, like, I think, um, Timo. So I just, I have.
So, Andrea, what was your favorite moment? Or what is the one thing that you've learned or taken away and applied in your life?
So I've been using AI based on just listening to what you've been taught, how you talk about it and how to use it. So I have like severe ADHD, and I mean, it comes down to like, what do I tackle first, even when it comes to like business or home life or kids or husband, whatever. And so I've been giving it like, here's what I need to get done today. Here's everything that I need. Here's how much time I have. I want to work out. I want to cook a good meal. I want to
be able to finish a funnel for a client. So I just put all of that into into the AI tool that I use, and it literally just blocks my time, and it creates that structure for me so that I don't have to spend that time thinking like, oh, here's how, what should I do first? I only have 2 hours to work on this. So I've been using it as a time management tool, and also just as like a little mini, accountability partner, if that makes sense. And it keeps me on track. I mean, I tell it what I'm eating. I'm trying to lose some weight. So I'm like, okay, here's what I ate today. Am I in my, goal for my macros and my calorie intake? And it's like, yeah, you're doing great. Here's what you need to eat later. Add some more protein or whatever. But yeah, that's the, and I got that from you guys. So like, you guys have been like, use it for everyday, not just business, but also just in your personal day to day, what needs to be done around the house. I've got to get a load of laundry in. I've got to get, something else done before, my husband gets home from work. So those types of things, it's been so useful. And I even now, what I do is I categorize everything. I have my little folders so I can go back and have those conversations with it. Like, hey, remember, that phone call I had with my mom? Well, what nuggets can I talk about with her the next time? So I don't know if I'm giving it way too much information. And someone said, hey, you're giving that tool everything, like your whole life. I'm like, I know, but like, does it really care? So
Well,
so yeah, so I don't know if you all thought I was information overloading my tool, my
Well,
AI
you
tool,
said you said you had ADHD, so how can you overload with information?
Yes, but I've created a quantum AI.
oh, I made a mistake. This is our household troll. I think we're good. Did you zap the troll there, Andy? We do allow
No.
trolls for entertainment. Okay, this is pure entertainment. This is somebody who lives in there. I don't know what they do. I don't know if he does he come from a family of trolls, or is he a solo
Hey, you
troll?
haven't made it if you don't have a troll. There you go. Boom, respectfully, Tom.
The land of trolls. Yes. Well, that was
If you have trolls, you have haters, then you make
um yeah,
it.
yeah.
Okay, Andrea. Yeah, so you're worried you're filling it up with information and you're not super sure everything. Yeah, everybody has a little concern about that, but if you don't, there's a totally interesting way to do that. You can create your own little LM Studio or Olama, put it on your computer. It'll run on pretty much anything that's got 8 megs of RAM, and you can kind of do the same thing, not as expansively, but it'll still give you lots of good answers. So if you're really, really worried about that, in a future episode, we'll talk about specifically loading stuff on your computer and doing it locally. And besides, Robert Scoble yesterday said that there was a model that he saw that was small and fast enough to run on a local iPhone or Android device, which that would be freaking amazing. So, okay.
Yeah,
Thank you, Andrea.
and
Fantastic.
one note on that, Andy. I was, I haven't been the wisest in my financial whatever. And so I was like, I got to sell a car and do this, that, the other thing. And I did go to Grok and I did explain it. And I was like, it was so great. Like to have your own local your local agent on your computer that's sequestered and not on the internet, where you can go through on all kinds of personal stuff, I think is going to be so valuable. So Andrea, I know that Olama, it's pretty easy to put on your computer. And that's what I would do for your own personal calendar. And if you have questions that are deeply personal information, because I was blown away. And then I had this epiphany when I woke up the next day, and I was like, I got to do that like now, because there's a lot of very kind of specific things about your life that with that type of assistance is huge. Like, well, should I do X with this amount of money, or this or that, or should I, what, blah, blah, blah. And it gives you a very well thought out assistant. And I'm just going to toot my horn, Andy, for 1 minute. On the purple pill, there's an article that I wrote about Anthropic's economic index and insights from Claude 3.7, which was an amazing article that came out yesterday. And so I wrote an article about the data that came out, and basically, it really goes to show that we're dealing with something that's almost cognitive. What's really happening, and then I had a conversation with one other person today who's been involved in manufacturing with automation, and he was saying that all the places that they brought automation to, and this was high level stuff like car manufacturing stuff, all it did was increase the pay of the people there and no one lost the job. That is the story of the automation through manufacturing. And so as the more we all focus this AI as a cognitive thinking tool that can work with us to solve problems, it is not going to be the job killer. That is my mission, to really put this stuff forward. So if you go to the Purple Pill, you can read the article and and I'd love to hear everybody's take on it. Sorry for taking up the air in the room, but that's that. So
It's our room, John. You can take whatever you want.
perfect. Yeah, because I feel very strongly about that. I think it's something that we need to kind of think of and focus, and then hear stories about, you have something that has cognitive abilities. Pretty much it can help it will come up with an answer to a solution, and then the two of you work together. And I think that this idea that it's just going to be taking jobs, and everybody or anyone who wants to go down the rabbit hole, see what happened with automation in manufacturing and see if it caused job loss, or it caused a higher increase in pay and job consistency. Because right now,
It definitely added a whole new industry with a whole new set of programming, a whole new set of devices and tools to automate that stuff. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Hey, let's. I don't want to bypass this. Summer had her hand up, and I went to Andrea. So let's go to Summer, and then let's get to some hands, and let's get some more speakers and hear about how this stuff has impacted your life.
Yes, hi. Hi, Andy. Hi, John. I came up to say congratulations for your 100th episode. Congratulations. You really guys deserve it. And I have to say that I love the way you guys giggle within each other. It really shows that you're having fun. And so that's what I love about watching you guys and hearing you guys speak. I haven't been, like Andrea, I haven't been much around just because there's so many spaces and I cannot be all the time on spaces because I also have to be in real life. But I try to listen afterwards as much as I can. And listening to you guys, what really helped me was that before I didn't use AI at all. And now I'm using ChatGPT every day. I mean, for many things. I don't speak to it as much. I don't have conversations as much as I used to. Right now is mainly about just clicking the microphone and asking questions. And then I actually like to read the answers sometimes more than listening to them because I just think in another more profound way, I would say. So it really convinced me to use ChatGPT because before I was also a little reticent. I thought maybe this is not for me. And right now I'm really into it so much because why I'm so happy with it is because it increased my creativity. It pushed me to write. It pushed me to create images. It pushed me to do more things that I wouldn't have done. I wouldn't have released a newsletter, for instance, if it wasn't for ChatGPT, because now I can brainstorm with somebody. You don't always have somebody by your side that has your same interests, but you can talk to ChatGPT and you can brainstorm with it. And so that's the amazing thing. So the other thing that I wanted to say as well, John, I love your rants. I love when you speak about any other things. I think you should have an after show about talking about anything else. I love when you do that. And thank you so much for having me. And I hope, oh, and I would like to end with two questions. So I would like to know, what can we expect for the next season? And what would be your dream guest person? So thank you so much for having me.
Andy, you want to
I want to talk to Jensen Huang. I want to talk to the guy who runs NVIDIA. I mean, if we're gonna go for who, it's Elon Musk or Jensen. Those are the two guys I want to talk to about AI. They're the ones who are building it and doing that. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe Sam Altman at OpenAI, but there you go. There's the top three. If we're gonna list up the top three people about AI, I would talk to those three. And then, of course, what the second tier, those would be the top three. The next four would be the All In podcast. Any one of those guys, I want to talk to those guys. And then I have a list of other amazing people. We've had Robert Scoble on. I hope we've invited him. I hope he joins today. I do think he's running something else, but you know, Alex Finn has promised to be on the show, and Scoble's going to come back. We're going to get more guests. Okay, here's what you can look forward to. First, live streams every day. Second, we're going to take the live streams and we're going to turn them into podcasts so that you can go get it on Spotify or Apple or whatever your podcast platform of choice is. We're going to transcribe it and put it on the blog, or we're going to put it on the AI Biz Hour. You can go, by the way, we have a website, AIBizHour.com. Go there. John's done a fantastic job setting that up. We're going to put the YouTube link, the Spotify link, and the transcription right there, right on the things. It may turn into a subscription site. So I would sign up for a newsletter, go to John's newsletter, go to my newsletter and say, hey, if they do that, make sure that you sign up for the newsletter. It may end up being a subscription site so that if you want the everything we've ever said about anything, anybody, but whatever, you know, you can pay some amount and join the community and then get access to everything. Eventually, John and I will be monetized, and the AI Biz Hour will be monetized, and then that you can join there and get the the behind the scenes, the extra stuff. Because see, John and I have these conversations. You know, we talk to you guys here, but while we're talking, the diplomacy filter's kind of turned on. But when it's just John and I, and trust me, we get a little spicy. It's a lot more fun and interesting.
And Andy, I just want to interrupt you for 1 minute. Our troll is patiently waiting to get back on the air. So, do you think it's time for just a little light levity to he will just talk? I mean, I think he's okay. Just bring just let's see. Let's see. Can you can you zap the troll and okay, it's just gonna he's not going anywhere. I mean, it's just he's in a troll he's in a troll loop. He's in a he's in a troll loop, Andy. Imagine being in a troll loop into oblivion. Oy vey.
I made this joke a bunch of times. I think there's you can create a troll agency where big faces will pay you to bring a troll on and just disrupt them so that they can like pick you up and have some fun with you there. So anyway, all right, let's go to the rest of the hands.
Okay.
Anyway, that's the stuff that we got coming.
Good. And the troll is still patiently waiting. So if we need him, if everybody says troll, please, we can just bring him back. He's almost like an employee. So Jason and then Nathan. How's that?
Yeah, wanted to say congrats to the 100. I know it takes a lot of energy and dedication to make it, because probably some days you don't want to be online or have other things to do, but you're still here. So I kind of because of that, we all kind of know it's the cornerstone of here. And so what the moment I kind of hooked in and got really connected was I think it was around the launch of Grok. Up until then, I would kind of bounce in and out, not real consistently. But there was a launch there, and then I had made a comment. Umesh had jumped up, and we got it was like we jumped topics. I don't know, there was a string of topics, and there was probably 10 or 11 different things that we touched on and talked about, and it was like really random but valuable. But it was just like we got into almost like a deep dive of developer stuff, and you let it go that direction, even though a lot of the audience isn't quite ready for it, but you kind of let us go with it. So that was nice. And one thing that I like that I keep coming back to is that there's a good breadth of different types of people here. So we get a mix of investors and developers, and also people that are using AI for business. So it's kind of a melting pot to generate ideas and kind of connect with people. So like that combination of things is really valuable to me, because I'm wanting to build things that are useful to people and not just a wrapper around the API. So yeah, just congrats. And then also the Discord server, we're trying to turn it into a way to really connect with people that are vetted developers. So I think we've done, and yeah, John maybe can elaborate on this. I think there's someone that's going to help build a test, and what's there now is a good public side, but we're going to make some private channels that for people that are interested in being vetted, or if you're on more of the business or investor side and you're looking to connect with people, we're trying to make it really valuable to be there versus just another place to have to check on Discord. So yeah, so drop the mic there. So
Awesome. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of requests for people to join. People who've joined really impressed with it. Jason's done a great job. And yes, we have someone who's going to help us. There's going to be tests. It's going to be a badge of honor if you can pass the test, because we're not just going to have anyone in there. And so for those of you that really know what you're doing and a little competitive, have some fun. And it never hurts to have kind of a vetting hazing process, not in a bad way, in a good constructive way that really lets people's skills shine. So Nathan, how are you?
hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Excellent. What would you like to add to today's conversation? And thank you for being here, and thank you for being a regular contributor and attendee.
Absolutely. I just really wanted to kind of extend Jason's point. I think what makes this space so great is that its community is really a cross-pollination across all the different types of people who use AI. You've got real experts here. You've got people with business experience and finance background. You've got people who are just kind of dreaming about what can I even use this technology for. You've got people who are really interested in solving a particular business problem. You've got people who are interested in sort of the ecosystem. There's really no other place that I've found on X like that, with that kind of community. And I think that it really comes down to you guys just do a fantastic job of just always having a conversation that's, available, interesting. You guys, like, sometimes there's not speakers coming up and you guys can just keep it going. I don't know how you guys do it, but it's pretty awesome. And then you often will get just incredible speakers on here too. I just want to shout out a few people who are really awesome. I absolutely love hearing from Sign-In. I definitely love, the community that is building around. I love seeing Nada and Jessica, interacting with them, and obviously, John and Andy, you guys are fantastic as well. So I'm just really grateful for what you've built. I know it's a lot of work, and keep that community, keep it broad, because I think when you dive too deep in one direction, you really miss out on seeing the whole picture.
Thank you very much. Andy, please.
I love it. I'm always a big picture first person. I look at, are we going the right direction? Are we going the right speed? Have we collected enough information to get us to our destination or our objective? And then I work from there backwards into, what do I need today? So as a result, today is always, the result of everything that we've done. It's not the discovery today. Right. Today is just the result of all of the plans and activities and the actions that we've taken today. And then when I'm done with this kind of stuff, I'll go do things in preparation for tomorrow and then more stuff in preparation for next week, and more stuff in preparation for next month, which is why, I kind of feel like I'm the record player. You just, I'm that, like when you go to the store, remember old school, when you went to the store, there's this big giant box and there's all these buttons. You push some combination of buttons and you get some answer. I feel like I'm that kind of guy. You can just go, hey, what do you think about, the Red Sox in 1934 when they made Fenway or blah, I don't know. I'll come up with something. I'll reach back in my brain and figure out some crazy answer, but some way to connect it all together. But yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Let's go. Let's keep it going. We got 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And,
I think we need to push people to get hands up. Also, just I know everybody's concerned about this. The troll has left the room. I was hoping it would stick around and just be there whenever we needed it, but unfortunately, the troll is no longer with us today. Hopefully, they will come back. So I see that people's here. Fran's here. Your hand's not up. Sannon's here. Hand's not up. Oh, Vio, how are you doing? Please share with us. And I love your art. I really love your art.
Thanks, man. That means a lot. I really want to say that where it clicked is where I used some JavaScript to compile a plugin for Illustrator, and it was to rotate the objects on their own individual axis. If you do a rotation in a group, it rotates on like a larger, you know what I mean, like a larger scale. And that's where it clicked. I was like, oh shit, I just did something. And it was Claude and ChatGPT, as well as the mini one. The mini one is actually fucking incredible. O3, I've got names. So he called me boy, and I just say, yeah, hey me, can you help me out with this? And that actually changed my life, I think, a little bit. So I compiled it and I got that in there from using Xcode. So that was incredible, and that's gonna land there.
Perfect. I'm going to take some people down because some people want to come up. If you've already spoken, uh, just get a little room. That we only need like a couple, one or two people. That would be really wonderful. But I really want to hear people who haven't spoke. And there's a lot of people. Jonathan from France, he's done great work. Timo, Kevin, please, let's we'll do some rotating, and we got 12 more minutes with Andy, so every minute counts. So, Andy, do you want to lead us?
yeah, be sure to check out our sponsor, right? So this is the second month. We're sponsored by Virtual Synergy Inc. It's in the Jumbotron. It's also in the Purple Pill. If you need a VA, make sure you go talk to them. They'll help you out. Let's go to the hands. Let's see. We've got Dallas I think it was either Shannon or Yapper first. Let's go with Yapper, and then we'll go to Shannon, and then we'll go to Fran, and then we'll go to Justin or Dallas. So Yapper, Shannon, Fran, Dallas, Justin.
The Yapper, you're up.
You're up, Yap.
And please, everybody, try to stay on point. Just where where something clicked, or who spoke, and you got some wisdom that you didn't have before.
I was just gonna add one thing is what Andy was saying. They already have it. Andy, it works really big in Web3. It's what they do to flood projects all the time. They actually use an AI agent. And then I just want to come up and say I came in here one day just randomly. I didn't have any friends or anything. And then I noticed that Santa was in here, and I thought he was a friend of mine, and I wasn't sure. And then I heard your conversation. I came back ever since because this is actually a space that helps people. Most spaces in this, especially in X, are about narratives, but you guys actually help the common folk and tell them what's out there and what to look for and what not to be fooled by. And that's what I wanted to give you guys flowers for, because more spaces like that need to pop up instead of just shill spaces. That's what this space has become. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you for your time, guys.
Thanks, Yapper. That's awesome. And I'm going to switch we've got just 10 minutes left. Let's go to Justin. He's on his lunch break. He just pinged me and said, hey, can I save like 2 minutes and then we'll go to Shannon.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. Thank you, yeah, John, and congratulations. Sorry, guys, to jump the line like this, but yeah, really appreciate it. I just want to first off say it's been great collaborating with each and every one of you guys here on X on this platform, and yeah, I just want to give some shout outs to Andy and AI John for their consistency and modeling the way towards success here. It's not an easy feat here. So the value that they provide and all the great speakers they've had over these last few months it's really helped me level up my AI game, and I'm sure you guys as well. And so just want to acknowledge them. And hey, we have our sponsor, Virtual Synergy. That's amazing. The first of many sponsors, guys. Okay, the first of many. So get ready. I'm walking in downtown San Diego here, gonna grab some lunch, and I gotta get back to the office. But just wanted to congratulate you guys. I'll go back down to listener, but congratulations again, guys. And make sure you guys like and repost the space here to show support. And yeah, happy Friday, everyone. Happy Friday. Thank you.
Thanks, Justin. Appreciate the kind word. Let's go to Shannon.
Hey, John, Andy. I don't know how I'm going to pull this out without the troll. Seriously, I'm kind of infected. But the best spaces, those where I was speaking and allowing people to learn. I'm just kidding.
That's awesome.
That's what I said. I don't know how I'm going to pull it without the troll. No, just kidding. Best space. Ruben, dude. He pulled out 2 questions that are like breaking my brain into the pieces, like for almost a year now. How it will look. Because right now everything is kind of here and there. But the true question is actually the resource, how it's going to be continuously run, and so on. Accept that space. I love the one with the Harsh and Umesh, where we discussed about the capabilities and all of that stuff. And yeah, that these two, and yes, one with the Vladimir when he pulled out that metric. I still think he should push that. That's really, really important. So yeah, that's pretty much on that side. John, something you mentioned about automations and operations and stuff. That's exactly what I said the other day. Stop building toys. There's plenty of stuff in operations, and that's what people are looking for. And yeah, you two are fantastic. I love it. Like Yapper said, this is really, really terms like the trend, the I don't know, like the other spaces, and yeah, I'm seeing it heading toward the great direction, and eventually this will become something way much more serious on a level of Joe Rogan in terms of business and AI and tech in general. So thank you guys for doing a great job. Like this is really, really fucking awesome. Fantastic.
Thanks, Shannon. And you know what? The best spaces are when Shannon is on. There you go. Okay, now okay, watch this. Ready? We're gonna go to Fran. Okay, now Fran, tell us what the cool thing is. And by the way, everybody, the best spaces are when Fran is talking.
Nah, I just talk shit like Simon. Okay, guys, congratulations for the 100 spaces. It's been really awesome. And yes, as Jason was saying before, I'm gonna be the pain in the ass of everyone because I'm gonna be in charge of making the tests and validating the people on the technical perspective to join the Discord channel. So everyone's gonna hate me. I know that. I don't care. I'm ready for that. I don't give a shit. So yeah, just be aware that there's not gonna be bullshit on that server, and I'm gonna make sure that only people with real knowledge is there. Of course, we are gonna, don't worry, guys, but because I'm gonna design, maybe, I don't know what, we have to still have to decide, but at least 2, 3 different levels. And we will also recognize beginners, intermediate, and advanced, or professional, whatever the names finally are. So even if you are a beginner, you will be able to join the server, but you will be there with a badge or whatever means of recognition. So so people that are interested in looking for a developer, they will know if you are a beginner, if you're intermediate, or if you are a professional or expert or whatever. So congratulations again for 100 spaces, and yes, we will be here kicking asses soon.
Thanks, Fran. And remember, the best spaces are when Fran talks. Hey, Dallas, you've got like 2 minutes before I have to leave. So what's going on, Dallas? And by the way, the best spaces are when Dallas talks.
Hey, thanks everybody. Congratulations. Just want to pass that along as well. 100 is a big number, 2 zeros, 00. And I guess to follow the prompt, what kind of stuck out or clicked or and all that good jazz was, I guess, more of a validation kind of idea or just something that locked in, so to speak, with some things that I've been building myself. I'm not sure if it was Andy, you mentioned it, or AI John said it, that, you know, these complex LLMs or LMMs have the capacity to simulate a form of cognition at some scale or some level. And it's been something that I've been researching and building frameworks for a while. And so just wanted to kind of endorse that and yeah, just pass along the congratulations again, and look out for all this new technology drops and synergy connections that are, you know, bubbling up. We're moving quicker and quicker, and you know, it just like with our own cognition, things just connect sometimes.
Dallas, have you thought about creating some kind of test that can show that?
Tests. I've built some frameworks and things that it could potentially speak to a benchmark or test or like. Yes, yeah, I've not done it yet. I'm still in the like testing phases of the frameworks that I've built that invoke some cognitive, some inklings of cognition, you could say. Some chats that kind of endorse the idea that are similar to, you know, speaking with just a general chat GPT, but with a little bit more spice, let's say, or something that some spark that the base chat may not always you know, show on first conversation. And I've shared some things on my timeline hinting at it, but I've not.
I'm sorry to interrupt you for 1 minute. Andy, do you have to leave right at the minute?
Yeah, I got to go in just a minute. But Dallas, that I love the idea of the cognition stuff. I'd love to see some tests. Just as a final thing of this, the end of this first hour here of the show. Thank you so much, everybody. It wouldn't be nothing without us. Although it would be just John and I having a conversation, but it's way more interesting that you guys have joined. Thank you so much. Cannot tell you how much we thank you. Make sure you join, or at least click on Virtual Synergy, send them an email, say you've got some questions, see if it might work for you. And John, I'm going to hand this back over to you. And by the way, for everybody, just to be absolutely unbelievably obvious. The very, very best spaces are the one where John talks. So thank you, John. And you guys have a great after show. Bye-bye.
Andy, thank you so much, Andy. And if it wasn't for you, I would not be here and this space would not exist. So it's on your shoulders. You're the one who's getting responsibility for it. And Dallas, one thing, like with consciousness, they can't even measure it. They can't even define it. But I think maybe within an AI model, there's a better chance of measuring it. Is that have you
I have my thoughts. I have my thoughts on that. And consciousness and cognition, awareness, these terms all can kind of get thrown together, but I think it's important to make distinctions between, what cognition may be, or um, what consciousness may be, or self-awareness, or ipseity even, which is a kind of form of proto consciousness in a way. And so no, I do think that the things that we have now can simulate or emulate forms of, I'm choosing my words very specifically, cognition, but less consciousness in a way. There's no, if we want to get like wax philosophical for a second, there's no, from my outward looking in, no like momentum. There's no intention. There's no free will that's pushing one neural network synapses connection to go to another besides the data that it's already been trained on. And I don't want to, get to go all the way into the technical bits of it. But the thing that I've been creating or building or thinking of is this idea of test time cognition. And so you may have read or heard things about people saying test time compute or test time reasoning, or these things. And so that just means that when you hit enter, the thing starts doing the thing in the background. It starts like thinking or interpolating or whatever, and then it spits out that output. The thing test time just means the thing that's happening actively as you've hit enter, you've sent sent the input, and it's doing the processing. And so the thing that I'm coining or saying that has the potential or exists now is that there is some form of cognition that happens or can happen or can be simulated or emulated during that period of input, processing, output.
Yeah, I threw out the word consciousness incorrectly. Cognition is what I was. They cannot measure consciousness, but yeah, cognition is another element of it. But this is Sonnen was talking about. Vladimir wrote an article about testing these AIs, and if you could put I guess the idea is then to put a dollar amount to what they can do, or if some testing scale, so people could then, hey, I created this tool with AI, and then there's some rating scale with it, would be
Well,
really.
I would say it's hard to place the dollar amount on. So to invoke like human labor, it's hard to you know that an output of a certain amount of work done has a potential this value, but it's hard to place a dollar amount on the potential itself. And so that's just my kind of my nuance to add to that.
Yeah, well, and one thing that like there's talk about, there's going to have to be a new economy at some point, or an understanding of what a value is. 'Cause money kind of just represents time, or the time of a human being to execute something, and well as their mental abilities to get that done. It's a storer of it, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
so
a measure of productivity, you could say.
yeah, and so then when you throw these AIs and things into that, what does that do to that structure, or what paradigm, or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, no, we're on we're about to turn a corner, that we can say, from things that have always been done a certain way to things that will be done in a new way. And I've written an article about this. I haven't published it yet, and I'm looking to publish it soon. That kind of speaks to this exact moment that we're in terms of skilled labor having produced the things around us for, as for as long as skilled labor has existed. And now we have turned the skilled labor into kind of automated process, one through the wheel and then an axis and putting that in bugging chariot or a bugging a wagon and then putting it on, on the water, making it float and, through this whole progression of automating things that we would have otherwise a human do, have been able to then abstract that kind of productivity to free up ourselves to, I don't know, steer the boat or decide where attention or energy or whatever is placed, and then so now we're kind of in that next inflection point in a more compounded way, but it's not any different than I believe, as you mentioned, any time in the past, when factories and better machinery was invented a couple hundred years ago, leading up to just this very moment. We've always, as society, humans adapted, and that still remains to be our greatest ability in terms of if you want to invoke survival. But I think we're past that, survival, having to just get by. We're now we're just in a different time now, and so we have to come up with new ideas about what it means to exist in day to day and occupy ourselves or create and innovate and things. But yeah, not to take up all the time.
Yeah, well, when you were done with that article, please, or anytime, come back. I'm really interested in that because I think that I hope this space becomes a place for the discussion that's hasn't really on X. There's a lot of whatever, people will post they want to get 100 likes or followers or increase and there's not a lot. I mean. Uh, there are people who are creating kind of in-depth discussions about things, but they're few and far between. And I think that it as we get towards wherever we're going, those discussions need to be had, and it's a nice container of ideas X and people with specific things. So hopefully, I'm going to try to do my part to get those conversations going and to be kind of a little more in depth, not just reporting, hey, this can do that, that can do this, but like, what does it mean? It's like,
Yeah, like looking at the frontier, you're at the edge of the shore, you see the boat, everyone's getting on, but where does the boat take us? Where do you go with it? It's new territory, new parts of the map, quote unquote, are opening up, and now we're getting to explore even more. And what does it mean for us to explore more than we have already explored? Not just in terms of like geography, but in terms of our own cognitive landscapes, let's say, and all these other things that can evoke because of that. And it's a very special time and we're in a very privileged time to be alive, I would say. And yeah, no, like it causes causes, at least for me, a time of reflection and then deliberation. What comes next? How am I prepared? Am I prepared? And
yeah,
taking the next step.
yeah, it's super exciting. I don't really relate to people who have huge amounts of concern. I mean, I went through that portal. It never did any good. Um, I'm gonna go to Edwin and the Yapper, and I see Zoo's here. I'd love to hear from Zoo, and I'm sure that like this conversation, anybody who disagrees with me, please, I want to hear you. If you think I just don't know what the heck I'm talking about, or I'm full of hot air, because I am full of hot air a little bit, just shout it out, and let's have a vigorous discussion or a vigorous debate about what is and what is not. And I think that I'm going to try to stop saying Okay. So Edwin, how are you doing? Edwin Lynn.
Edward Glenn.
Edward, yeah,
AI John. What's up, Andy? Good to see you. I see Dallas in here also. Some of you guys. I just want to come and say congratulations on your, 100th episode. I've been in several of your spaces, and I just want to come and say thank you for all the information you have provided. And most people may not realize this, but consistency is the mother of breakthrough. And doing something on a regular basis is much more important than just hanging out. Most businesses do not make it, and you guys are doing what you have to do. You continue to do the best you can, and I know that the foundation of what you started will continue to grow. And people who are not used to AI and they want to learn and listen, this is a great space to come and do that, and you can play with it. And there's a lot of very people in this room, very smart people in this room that have bumped their heads on all of AI, and they can give you some practical information. So just want to say, AI John and Andy and everyone else who do contribute to this space, thank you, and congratulations.
Edward Lynn, I apologize for not pronouncing your name correctly. So last time we spoke, you were looking for some solutions, and then did anyone say here kind of help you in a direction? Because that's really what we're trying to do, is to provide a space where people can get practical information, where they can move the ball forward on a business adventure or an endeavor that you've been doing something for a long time or something new. Just curious if you got any help from the room, and any specific things you'd like to share, or if not, that's totally understandable as well.
Oh, no, it's okay. So there's a couple things that we're working on. Dylan is one person I have spoken to. He's down here also. I've sent him some information. We're looking at working together and trying to create some synergy around my space, which is, death care, and doing some what we call email marketing, different things of that nature, really building stuff around the different funeral homes and cemeteries and crematories. It's just a matter of timing, because again, the tool may be appropriate, but is the timing right? So there's a lot of different things that have to play. And number two, you have to find the problem and then solve it. And I don't think that a lot of people understand. You can have the best tool in your toolkit, but you may not know the problem. So sometimes you got to make sure all these things are flowing together. But yes, there's a lot of things that you share with me that we've been doing, like I told you, with our different platform, our landing pages we have now. We're just trying to set up some things because, again, we got to also make sure that the profile of our consumer, the families that we're serving, are also becoming very adapted to AI. Even though we're all comfortable with it, you guys, the majority of the community out here, they come to your website, they may see an avatar, they may not know what button to click, and so you got to have the avatar speak. There's a whole lot of things that actually happen and take place, not just because you have the tool of AI. You got to really know how to make this work with real customers, because at the end of the day, a person who's just following you and they're not paying you, they're just a follower. They have to become a customer. That means they're actually exchanging the value of their dollar for the value of your information. And that's what we're trying to get to, AI John. So there's a lot of tools out here, but the tools have to also be practical to where we're actually having belly to belly conversations versus just, impressions or clicks or whatever. There's a lot more to it than just all the things that we talk about AI. AI's great. It helps a lot. But at the end of the day, you got to be able to ask that person for some money. And because if you don't, then it's just a hobby, and hobbies we don't get paid for.
Absolutely. And that's really great. And I definitely, please continue to come back so we can hear about your journey. And also, yeah, Sanan's alluded to this in a lot of, it's a tool. It's not the end all be all of everything. If it's useful, it's useful. If it's not, it's not. And also we're at a period of time where there's not a lot of awareness within the public. So trying to sell something or use something or have some aspect of something that people aren't very familiar with, we got to push those resistance away so they're more accepting. I see that Alisher is here. I'd love to hear from Alisher, anyone from Tech in Schools, and also there's quite a few people. Timo, I don't know if Timo's busy. Danielle's here, who was a guest. A lot of people who were guests that we got to speak to. And actually, Timo, we should have you come in. And Jonathan, you're doing really interesting. And Shannon was a guest, which was really wonderful, and I was able to learn a lot about his story, professional basketball player, and what have you. And so the Yapper, you got your hand up, and I have to head out at least by 2, maybe a little bit before then. I don't really want to ramble on too much. I was thinking of playing guitar at some point and see if I could clear the room out. There was a time when I played, well, I've been playing music forever, but there was a club in New York where they were having a convention, a political convention, and I was gonna sit and would sing and write my own songs and everything. And I was young and just had a big undeveloped sense of self, and my ego was a mess. And so I cleared the whole club out, and I was so proud of myself. Crazy. I don't understand what's so yeah, I had some issues. But I was thinking that maybe I'll try to do that with this room if I pick up my guitar, but we'll see. So, the Yapper, what do you got to say?
I just wanted to go more into that topic of if AI is self-aware and stuff like that. I think with the robotics, we've seen that they're aware of stuff according to what they're trained on, according to what, but they can also now are situational. They can also see certain things in a room and understand how a human's feeling. They can actually go in a room and understand what tasks need to be done. These are a lot of things that are happening over in the Eastern world that we don't talk about over here. So it really comes down to the fact of, yes, they're aware, they have self-awareness, but if you really think about a human, they say a human's not fully self-aware, and there's also a lot of things that they're not aware of. So that's why I always say that what we're really AGI. What's coming next is whatever the AI will evolve us to, or whatever we evolve next to. We like to imagine that it's AI, stuff like that, but I believe that humans are and can be trained just like AI. Yeah, we can't do as many tasks at one time, but it's like because it can do so many tasks. But that's just upgrading or leveling up, in my opinion. So I believe that there's awareness, but I also believe that we like to have people over here that said this is awareness. We have people over here that says this is awareness. We have people over here that says this is consciousness. But I think the one thing that we can learn is we don't know what subconsciousness is. And I think that is where a lot of people like to trick and like to imagine that an AI is just going to be like a human, but humans don't even know what subconsciousness is. We can only understand that it's something that drives us, or the aha moments are the things where we do something and we don't know why, but it's because our subconscious. That ends my yap.
Thank you, the Yapper. Star Killer, what do you have to say? And then I see Franz got his hand up, and I think he wants to react to the Yapper. Star, how you doing?
Hey, doing well. Just enjoying the day. I was thinking about that question he was saying, is it aware? And I don't think so, in relation to consciousness, but I think that it does behave like if you're behaving normally, it might tell you things like you're intriguing, or I'm glad you're getting progress done, or it might even apologize to you. But is it really sorry? That's something that I wonder. So I don't think it is sorry when it apologizes. I would also like to add that I think that it goes to the same thing as it's like an old joke, right? Like AI can have sex with your girlfriend better than you. And then it's like, so what? It's like, so what? Is that going to take away the meaning of life itself? It's a good question. It's a good parody. It's like an Onion article. It's one worth unraveling. But yeah, I think that like sorry, excuse my language. I came in kind of sharp today. But so on the topic of self-awareness and it apologizing and not being really sorry, I did have one more point. in the middle of family midday stuff. It's a beautiful hour. Usually I'm on my walk, but we're heading to a wedding, and it's always good to see people get married and stuff like that. So like when you tell it something, like for instance, if you're behaving normally to the AI and you say, I want to make a connection between two things that I don't think people are making a connection between, and you're acting normally, it may tell you things that you're intriguing or you might be onto something, but those aren't, that's like the opposite of self-awareness, because a self-aware person would tell you, no, there's actually no connection at all. And then once you do enough researching yourself and you feed the AI and you say, actually, I've discovered there's no connection between these two objects, it'll say, oh, you're absolutely right. Sorry, my bad. I didn't include that. But is it really sorry? So I don't think it's self-aware.
Well, I really like your point of view, and I think that that's a discussion that we're going to drill down on in the coming weeks and months. And just a little house cleaning, I would really appreciate it if everybody would go and join my newsletter. You go to my account and you click on the Beehive. Also, I have been delivering consistently for 100 episodes. I'm paying the bill. I'm paying the bill. I'm showing up. I'm providing a space where people are getting. I believe this is. I haven't had television in 20 years because 20 years television's a freaking joke. But this is better entertainment, just on an entertainment level, than most things that you can find. And I know this to be true because I believe it to be true. And if I believe something, it is true. So I really would appreciate if all those that are getting value out of this space go to my account and you'll see support through Zelle. Buy me a cup of coffee, buy me lunch, buy me dinner, buy me something to show your fealty, to show your loyalty, to show that you care. Okay? All right, that's my speech. So, Fran, what's going on?
Okay, here we go again with the awareness and consciousness and this stuff.
You're supposed to talk about the 100th episode. Yeah, it's the 100th episode.
No, 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 no. Let Fran just react. He doesn't have to talk about anything he doesn't want to. Fran, react to it.
Yeah. Here we go. Okay, I think in 100 years, if our people or descendants read what we are saying today about artificial intelligence, they are gonna think that we are fucking retarded. Okay. And let me be clear. If you want me to go full deep honest, there is no such thing as artificial intelligence. If it's intelligence, cannot be artificial. If it's artificial, cannot be intelligence. Okay. What we have is algorithmic research at most. Okay, that's what we should label. And another thing that people don't understand is that sorry if you hear my cats, I'm feeding them so they stop meowing. Sorry. Just a second. That's it. Okay, sorry for the interruption. Okay, going back to the thing, this is not artificial intelligence. Okay, let's be serious, because at some point someone this hype or whatever is going to die, and you have to understand this. Artificial intelligence, everything that has been done with in the last few years, it has been done just because we reach a certain level of computing power and capability of storage information and data. Okay, because the real innovation on the knowledge of artificial intelligence since the early 40s, early 50s, I'm talking 1940s, 1950s, mid of the 20th century. Since then, the advancement in knowledge has been fucking zero. Okay, the transformer is just the only one thing that is a real little innovation in the specific field of the knowledge of artificial intelligence. Everything that ChatGPT does, it was developed in the late 40s, early 50s on the past century. The thing is that in that time, they already knew that they didn't have the computing power and the capability of storage information that it was needed to process and execute those algorithms that they developed in those years. And those developers at that time, they named artificial intelligence as a joke. It was a joke. Read the books of those people. You can find them on the internet, free availability in Google Books. You can search them and you can look at the papers and so on. They named artificial intelligence and those algorithms as a joke because people in technology, we have really crazy and stupid sense of humor. Okay. And we make stupid jokes, and then 50 years later or 70 years later, people think that those jokes were not jokes, but they were. So, to explain it very clearly, artificial intelligence quote, as it is today, it can develop, let's say, a cowboy film script just because it's searching or already searched for all the existing cowboy film scripts, and it's making some sort of compendium of all of them, and it's putting out, giving the output of what you think that is something new, but it's not. It's just a combination of all the cowboy film scripts that have been developed by humans. If there were no cowboy film scripts ever existed, an artificial intelligence would not be able to create a cowboy film script. So, and the thing of awareness and consciousness, find me out one single paper where a community of neurologists or psychiatrists or psychologists have a common definition of what is consciousness. I'm not even gonna go deep in the subconsciousness, just the consciousness itself. Find me one fucking paper where is an agreement between more than 2 or 3 people of what is consciousness, because there is no one. No research on the topic has reached to a common, you can find a Wikipedia definition, but that's not how things are defined in a scientific, objective way. So we don't even know what is consciousness. How are we gonna build a software that simulates? Because as the speaker before me was saying, what we have is something that simulates or emulates something that has already been created by humans. The only thing is that since there is so much information inside those algorithms, since there is so much information stored in the databases already. But also one thing, guys, data is and information is a finite concept, and we are reaching that point. once the finite, the information is finished, and once all the information is stored, then we cannot advance from there, because information, it's something that is finite. Only humans can create new information. Only humans can create new things. So yeah, too much bullshit around. I don't want to pop all the space. So, but yeah, there is no such thing as a consciousness or awareness. Okay, if you think about awareness in a different perspective, yes, but there have been already a lot of systems. How it's called, motion detector systems on cameras are awareness systems. So depending on how you label things, you can reach to some points. And very fast, AGI, yes, we're gonna reach it probably this year or maybe at most next year, but we're gonna reach it just because Sam Altman decided by himself alone what is the definition of AGI. So when I set up a test and I create the test, of course I'm gonna be able to pass the test because I am creating it. So, but that doesn't mean that that's gonna be a real human level artificial intelligence, whatever they want to name it or label it.
Yeah, it's
Sorry
going
to be so hard. Sorry.
Yeah, well, no. That's fine. I mean, it's a marketing ploy, and yeah, I always believe that they're going to say that there's a sentient thing before there is any sentient thing. Most people will buy it. And yeah,
for sure.
and they cannot quantify, they cannot measure consciousness, but there are other aspects of what the human mind does that they might have a better handle on, which, and I think that there could be an argument that you do work with some of these in a way that it enhances your gives you ideas and stuff like that. I don't know exactly what the definition of that is, but it's not there was a point, it's not a calculator. It's something else that we don't really have an understanding of how to measure it, value it, and what it is. Sanan, am I off? Am I totally wrong? Please tell me.
No. So, my favorite scientist of all time said something which is 100% true, and I believe it's ultimately true. Measure what's measurable, what's not, make it so. And it is possible. I wouldn't bother with cognition part, intelligence, sentient, and all of this stuff. Just see it as an automation on steroids. So we will have robots. So what? We have smart homes. Come on, like you are driving your car and you are setting up the temperature in the home, turning on your boiler to heat the water and stuff. That's the same thing AI is doing, like nothing else. The term intelligence, I think, is mispresented and misinterpreted. When we go way back to analytics, just for example, taking a simple model of correlation, we cannot take a piece of paper, which let's say, or a book or a notebook that contains like 100 pages of the information and then start correlating it. Like if we go way back, the accountants were using these big papers from a butcher shops, and then they will be writing the numbers and everything. So they will have one big sheet from which they will use different color markers and then set up something that is obvious, which means like identifying the patterns. When we progress with the computational power, we get to the extent of intelligence, but not of the intelligence like we humans have or living creatures. It is intelligent to find the correlation among, I don't know, 1 million data points in a data set. It is intelligent. It really is, because of the speed it produces. But it doesn't have to do nothing with the intelligence that living beings are able to produce. Banal example, trees are communicating, trees are having the intelligence. You have a tree that, I don't know, all of the branches and leaves are, I don't know, going to north side because winds are hitting in that direction. It didn't die. Intelligently, it figured out how to adapt to the nature, to the environment, and then started growing. I think it's just not nothing but the marketing aspect of capturing our attention. And there is a problem with us. There is no problem with Sam Altman or whomever else. There is a problem with us. For example, today we all read some newspapers or some information. You can answer this question for yourself. You don't have to answer in the room. How much actually you really learned? How well have you processed the information? Have you thought of what this information means for tomorrow? Then we can literally correlate an AI to intelligence we have, because vast majority of people just reads newspaper and goes and say, oh, have you seen that disaster in Thailand and then like whatever. But have anyone like interpret that information in terms, okay, what's the opportunity? What are the consequences? Where am I in that entire story and so on? That's intelligent. AI is actually trying to give a predictable results compared to what they are serving to us, considering we are all vast majority of people just reading the information. Of course, you will have 9 out of 10 people in the room saying, yeah, it's intelligent, it's smarter than humans. Because on average, we are stupid, nothing else than that. And even however we think and how much we are educated, still we are stupid. And just go back if you have a kids, and when kids come to you with a particular I don't know, mathematical problem or like a language problem or whatever, ooh, it was like 30 years, 40 years when I was in school. Like I don't remember it. And that's why it's going through and passing through. So I'd say it like automation on steroids, nothing else, to be honest.
I think that it's probably what 1/10 of 1/4 of 1,000 1% of people actually take information and understand what to do with it, or see opportunities. A very, very, very small fraction. I think most people just regurgitate information. So that does make us very limited in they were saying, well, what if all of a sudden everybody can create apps just by talking? That's what Robert Scoble said. In the future, everything's going to be the AI will be able to create anything. Then still, like, I did a little research, and it's like, what, 95% of the world are consumers. Even then, still, even if you have the ability to do that, most people probably wouldn't think of it or want to do that. They just want to consume. But I disagree with you a little bit, Shannon, in the sense that I've been following David Chalmers for a long time. He's one of the four thinkers of artificial intelligence, and Fran is absolutely right. I'm sure they thought it was a joke because it's just mimicking everything, and there's nothing intelligent about it. It has no divine spark. It has no inspiration. It can't think. It just throws back patterns. But there is something that is new when you have a person that is throwing idea. I mean, I do this constantly with the AI. Is I will put something out there. The other day, just like what Fran was saying, I gave a prompt, said write like Hemingway. The reason why I love Hemingway is when you read it, you're not conscious that you're reading it, because he was a newspaper man for so many years, and he writes at a very like a fourth grade level or whatever, and it's just so easy to read. But then when I said, Hemingway have a Hemingway persona in Hemingway's ability to write so reading is effortless, it came back and everything had to do with a fisherman and the sea, and it just pulled out these things that were correlated with Hemingway but didn't have anything to do with exactly what I was talking about. But I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but I do believe that there is going to be something that we have to realize, that we're being augmented, and it's a little bit more advanced than a calculator. And I would love to hear from you, Shannon, also about the idea or your thoughts. I did speak to somebody who's in manufacturing, who was been involved in automation, and he really, every time he brought automation to a factory, there was no loss of jobs, people's wages went up, and they got new skills, and it was always a positive.
Oh yeah, I just want to add. We did have this term of IoT smart home. So we have more advanced automation. How do we call it? Intelligent. Predicting requires intelligence in terms of interpreting patterns. But this is not intelligence, like I said, we humans have. It's an intelligence on executing task. Like calculator is intelligent. You have like previously what these big calculators use in finances and stuff. It's more powerful than Excel, but it consumes so much time typing in, pulling out the slips and all of the stuff versus Excel where everything is one place. So intelligence in terms of like how do we call next thing after the smart home or smart things? Smart everything was like 4 or 5 years ago.
Smart TV.
That too. So in that term, I meant in term of human, like no way. Like, okay, if we will have a robot versus cat, I will bet my money on a cat all day long.
Yeah, I think that people are going to put more in there than not. Were you going to add some more? Did I interrupt you there, Sanan?
Sorry, can you repeat?
I, I said that I think that it's a whole lot of marketing, and that that the they're going to sell it as so much more than it actually is. And yeah, the other day I said, go to Google Gemini when you on Google search and say, give me a result for my query, but add no synthetic data, do not speculate, and cite all your sources. And when you do that, its ability to come back with an answer is restricted so much. Often it will just have a little line under, I could not, give you give you an answer to your query, but these are the results that I think are right. Now, how many people are going to do that? Are going to say, give me no synthetic data, do not speculate, and cite all sources. but the people will consume it and assume that it is actually factual, and it's from on high because it's through the magic AI machine. Shannon?
Oh yeah, I agree on that. I mean, don't anyone take me wrong with this, what I'm going to say, but United States as a whole is nothing but the marketing. Like number one thing in the United States is the marketing. And if you are running business there and your marketing is not top notch, really, it doesn't matter how good your product is. It really doesn't matter, like whatever you're building, whatever it is. And that's the thing. I believe that synthetic data is not that big problem from my branch. Like when we come to the financial modeling, when we come to the valuation, when we come to the stuff. And I will give one particular example. So couple of years ago, I acquired business which I liked. I liked people in there, but we were missing so many KPIs. And the thing was, like, it was super hard for me to understand why they don't have CAC as a granular level versus the overall CAC, because that directly shows you the impact on operations and stuff, how much you spend on acquiring, retaining, and so on and so on. It took me weeks observing so many documents, so many different things from financial analysts, from operational analysts, and so on and so on. So I created a synthetic data. I replicate CAC by taking into the account last 3 years, the number of customers they acquired, the LTV period, and then I pulled the averages, divided the revenue over the period of time versus the acquired customers over the period of time, multiplied by the average price, and I created synthetic data, which produced 97% strength in accuracy of CAC. So this type of data being synthetic, I'm 100% okay with it. Now, in terms of the information and synthetic data, that's, I agree with you, huge problem. The big data we already have, I mentioned this numerous times, is already poisoned. This is something 15 years ago, I decided I'm not going to play with the big data. I'm going to play with the right data. And right data, if replicated or synthesized correctly, is of huge, abnormally huge value and advantage over the big data. Then from there, we are building foundation to build your own big data that is going to be clustered and processed the way you want to achieve the results. In addition to this, that already the internet and stuff we have is poisoned, we have intentionally poisoning, like the articles being published and stuff, and we involved Russians, we involved Chinese doing this and that, and all of that political garbage that we are surrounded with. If something is missing, and from the bad data you are creating synthetic data, of course, it's garbage. Like you cannot create, sorry, in a language, pie out of the shit. That's not possible. I mean, you can, but no one will eat it. And that's what we get. So in terms of, let's say, financial aspect, I believe in synthetic data 100%, equally as into the actual data. When it comes to the LLMs and how it can be poisoned and influenced, that's huge, enormous problem, like really, really enormous problem.
Yeah, absolutely. And it was interesting. Just the other day, I was chatting with one of the LLMs about coding, and they were mentioning that using synthetic data is really good because then it will code out in a way that as though the system is running, and it really helps to create a deep understanding of whatever your intention is, to use synthetic for that. But yeah, there's got to be a discussion about, what is the use case, what's the purpose of it, why it's good and why it isn't. People have trouble understanding that things have dualities, something that could be very, an unpleasant experience might be one of the greatest things that ever happened in your life when you look at it 20 years later or whatever. And so yeah, there and absolutely, America is all about marketing. And yeah, that's a crazy statement. It doesn't matter how good the product is if it doesn't have marketing, but it's true in so many levels, and we see it in such stratospheres of society that the products. I mean, the stuff that came out recently about things that you assumed were going to be a certain way, and they're very smart people that were examining it, and they looked like they were shocked at what they found. was, is very interesting, and we're going to see how all that plays out. So, Fran, please respond, and then get back to Shannon. Unless Shannon, you want to respond right now, and then we'll go to Fran. Whatever you guys want to work out, and then I'm going to have to go probably in about 15 minutes or so, and I think I'm going to end with some music.
Yeah, Fran, go ahead.
Yeah, very, very fast. A couple of things. Yeah, related to synthetic data, 100% of what Simon just said, especially in financial issues, in finance, because if you think about what is synthetic data, what is the name of this? I forgot this huge billionaire that is very successful on funds. Oh, someone help me, please.
What?
I forgot his name. It doesn't come. But you know, the people that has been running for decades, very successful hedge funds or investment. Yeah.
Jim Simons, he had the best investment.
Yeah, well, Jim Simons is one of the best, but I was referring to this old man with glasses. He's really old right now. But it doesn't matter. It's the point is.
You mean Warren Buffett?
Warren Buffett, thank you very much. Exactly, Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett has been using synthetic data for decades. It's what he does. And it's why he is successful, because he is able to probably, it's more than only synthetic data, of course. He's very smart, and he has a huge team of very smart people also, but they are using that synthetic data in order to build algorithms, build models, and with those models, they sort of make predictions, or they balance probabilities and so on. So yeah, and in other fields, probably in sociology also, synthetic data is very useful, and many other fields are can be improved by the use of synthetic data. But as you mentioned, John, if you get a model to avoid the use of synthetic data, the results are completely different, and you get to the point, maybe, if you try to do that experiment that just John mentioned before, because as I was saying, everything in AI is just or either a combined or a compilement of information, or is an abstraction of information. So another thing, maybe you can Google this, because there has been some leaks on the topic. And I don't know if you remember, the young people on the room will not know about this, but we old bastards might remember Deep Blue and IBM and the match with Kasparov, that he was the greatest chess player on the world. And when he was beaten by Deep Blue, he complained, and he wrote an article, and he said that it was not a machine he was playing with, that he felt perfectly that he was playing against a human being. And there were some leaks from IBM years later, that proved that. What IBM did by building Deep Blue and challenging Kasparov, they drove billions of investment on the field in artificial intelligence because they needed that investment to build bigger computers, more powerful CPUs, and so on. And the way they managed to beat Kasparov was by not having just one, but Kasparov was playing against 10 humans that they were feeding Deep Blue with movements and with strategies in real time while he was playing. So the only thing is that Deep Blue was moving probabilities, was working in probabilities, and was showing to these other big 10 players, top chess players. Deep Blue was predicting the different possibilities, and those players were playing against those different possibilities of how the match was going on, and that was feeding in real time to Deep Blue. And all that thing was only for the purpose of getting more money of investments in order to build larger CPUs, improving the storage capabilities of computers, and so on. So at the end, that story about Deep Blue, it was a scam. Deep Blue did not beat Kasparov on that match. It was fed by real strategies that were done by human beings on the back office, let's say, of the system.
Yeah, I mean that's something that discernment is very, very important. And if you play with any of a lot of these uh, LLMs and you put in things that you know will get kind of specific reactions, or you can feel it guiding you. And what's really going on could be exactly a Deep Blue moment. And but there's not a lot of discernment, and the education system in this country it's just been going rapidly downhill. And if you look at the world IQ level, it's been going downhill since I think the 70s or something. So I mean, you keep on feeding people things that make them walk into the walls. and, and I we have our it's I shouldn't be laughing about that, but I was just thinking about the troll who was in the room earlier. But I think that it's discernment super important, but people will consume things without thinking all the time, and we are walking around in this almost hypnotic state. I mean, people who are scrolling on the internet, there's nothing almost done at the conscious level. Everything's done on the subconscious level, and and so then you could be fed in this information that has nothing to do with reality, but you assume that it does, and you're taken down a rabbit hole about X, Y, or Z. So I'm going to do a little house cleaning. Please, everybody, go join my newsletter. I sent out my first newsletter today. I didn't test it. It's awful. It wasn't formatted correctly. I apologize. So I'm going to get it all right before I send them out. I'm going to be sending them out on a regular basis now that we've hit the 100 episode mark. We're really, bringing things up to a new level. And we do have a sponsor that is a great sponsor, and it is Virtual Synergies Inc. They do provide wonderful services for business. They help out with virtual assistants, and they make it so you can focus on the thing that every business needs, and that's new customers and new sales and new money. Also, if you have been getting any value from my show over a long period of time, I'd really appreciate it if you go over to my account and you see support through Zelle. It's simplest for me, it's not very sophisticated, and you can buy me coffee or lunch or what have you. I would greatly appreciate that because I do put in time and effort. And the thing of it is, I take this very seriously. um my whole life I've been a musician, I've been an artist. I don't really I have some people that collect my art. I've played at CBGB's, and we were asked to be the house band at CBGB's. I played at the Viper Room. I've played all around, and I write songs. I take it seriously. I don't really share it out to the world that much, but that is a wonderful thing about having the being an artist or a musician or mathematician or anything that is a craft that you can never truly perfect, but you're constantly working on it and you take it seriously. And that is something that then you have something of importance that you can work on for the rest of your life. When people say they're bored, I just can't relate to that. I mean, I've got so much stuff to do and I'm constantly working on things. And so, I do take the show seriously, and I do believe that it has merit and it has value, and that it is somewhat of an archiving of things that are going on as we're going through this portal of AI. I've It's attracted very significant, serious people. And I'm so proud of that. And Andy is a serious person. We like to have fun and everything. I mean, because if you're not having fun while you're doing it, but a lot of us find fun in working or in doing what our vocation is. So that's me in the show. So go over to my account, buy me some lunch, get me a cup of coffee or what have you. That would be greatly appreciated. The end of the quarter is on Monday, so I want to kick in a little bit of a few extra dollars before the first quarter is over, so I can compare it to the first quarter next year and the following year and see what goes on with all of that. So, it is 2:01. I said I was going to close up at 2:01. I'll let both of you, Sharon and Vio, please keep it concise and quick. And then I'm going to go out with my guitar. I need new tubes for my amp, and so it might sound really muddy and whatever, but we'll see. We'll see how this works out. Then I'll get some feedback. We like the outgoing music, the outro music, or we really just, John, we don't care what you've done in your life. Just don't ever do that again because it hurts so much. It's a possibility. We don't know. So, Sharon and Vio, please give the last words here.
Oh my gosh, I'm laughing. Okay, John. Well, first of all, congrats. I really love the spaces. This is a great hangout for all the AI people, and I'm very thankful for you and John. You and John. Well, I'm thankful for you and John. Are you AI? You AI and John? That then adds up to AI John. No, but thanks so much. I want to keep it short. It's been great hanging out with you guys, and I'm looking forward to all the other spaces coming up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Really appreciate it, and looking forward to all of the things that you're doing, and you're really pushing it, and you've pushing it so much. You're bringing a lot of people around you that are surrounding you, that are invested in what you're doing, that are really talented as well as you are, and so that's a huge testament to you and what you're capable of doing with your energies. So that's awesome. And
You gave me an idea, just really short. You gave me an idea, right? I just made my article writer, my AI article writer. I'm gonna do a newsletter bot too. I'm gonna play with it.
Excellent. Yeah, I mean, I've created some AI agents that are able to do things. I do feel augmented. I'm able to produce things that I could not have done. I do have a learning disability. I'm dyslexic. Me and letters don't really get along so well. Very close to somebody who's high level of the writing abilities. They say that they would see words in their mind, and also I knew a mathematician who could see mathematic shapes and such in their mind's eye, but me and letters aren't like that. So Vio, what do you have to say? All right. Well, I think that's my cue. Let me see what this happens with this thing. Now, don't expect a lot, but we'll see. I'm gonna check the thing so it doesn't get too loud, but we'll see where we go with this. There we go. Nervous here. It's been the what is it? The AI Biz Hour. Well, thank you, everybody. So have a good evening. Have a great weekend, and we will talk to you all on Monday. Thank you so much. The show's only good because you all show up, so please keep on showing up.
And just if I may, the final words, I just published on the net a couple of books related to the origins of artificial intelligence. They're in the Google.
Awesome. Thank you, Fran. Yeah. And I think that would be wonderful for everyone if we could really kind of dive into what happened at that time, what was going on in their minds, what was capable, and we see the reality of what's going on today. So I really appreciate that. And yeah, anything that you can bring to the table to kind of get us up to speed on kind of the reality of the playing field that we're on, that's hugely appreciated.
Yeah, and the most interesting one is the last one, logic service, that is a demonstration, and actually it was the first artificial intelligence software deployed in the Joniac computer, and it's really interesting. That one is really interesting, and you will see based on that book that everything was already done by the late 50s. Everything what we are that we are experimenting right now was there.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. And I didn't clear out the room, but I think I cleared out a few people. So I don't know if that's good or bad. But all right. Have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Andy and I will be back on Monday. And please keep coming back. The show's only as good as those that show up and those that share. And that's what's made this show really worthwhile. And the reason that I'm taking it seriously and I care about it and I care about all of you. So thank you. Bye-bye.